It was March 21st, 1968. Just before dawn, the Jordan River Valley was still and quiet. Then, the earth began to shake. From the west, an Israeli armored column of 15,000 soldiers, backed by fighter jets and paratroopers, crossed the river. Their target was a dusty town called Karameh, which means dignity in Arabic. They were coming to destroy the Palestinian Fedayeen fighters based there, who they believed were responsible for a series of attacks. Israeli commanders expected a swift operation, in and out in a few hours. But what happened that day would rewrite a story, forge a symbol, and change the course of a conflict forever. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is Flashpoints, the wars that shaped us. To understand the battle, you have to feel the moment. It's 1968. It's only been 6 months since the stunning Arab defeat in the Six-Day War. For Palestinians, the loss was catastrophic. The West Bank, Gaza, all gone. The Arab armies, humiliated. In this vacuum of despair, a new kind of resistance was rising. Guerrilla fighters, the Fedayeen, most notably under an organization called Fatah, led by a young Yasser Arafat. They operated from Jordan, launching small-scale raids. Their base of operations? Karameh. For Israel, this was an intolerable threat that needed to be crushed. For the Fedayeen, it was their last stand, a chance to reclaim dignity, or Karameh itself. So, as that massive Israeli force rolled toward the town, they expected the guerrillas to flee. It was the logical move. But Arafat gave a stunning order: stand and fight. And they did. Around 300 Fedayeen, alongside Jordanian artillery and armored units that quickly joined the battle, dug in. They fought from trenches, from buildings, from behind mud walls. The narrow streets of Karameh became a death trap for Israeli tanks. The fighting was brutal, close quarters, hand-to-hand. For hours, it wasn't a one-sided raid. It was a ferocious, bloody stalemate. The Israeli military did achieve tactical objectives. They blew up the base, destroyed bunkers, and pulled back by the afternoon. But the cost was shocking. Israel lost 28 soldiers and had several tanks and vehicles destroyed or damaged. Losses unprecedented for what was meant to be a simple punitive raid. The Arab forces, Palestinian and Jordanian, suffered far heavier casualties, perhaps over 150 dead and more captured. By traditional military metrics, Israel won. But war is also about perception, about narrative. And in that battle, a new narrative was born. Overnight, Karameh became a legend. Across the Arab world, it was not seen as a loss, but as a miracle. For the first time since 1948, someone had stood up to the Israeli army and fought. They hadn't run. The word Fedayeen and the name Arafat echoed from Cairo to Beirut. Thousands of new recruits, inspired, flooded into Palestinian factions. Donations poured in. The Palestine Liberation Organization, once a bureaucratic talking shop, was transformed, with Fatah at its helm. Karameh gave a shattered people a symbol of defiance. It shifted the Palestinian identity from one of passive refugeehood to active, armed resistance. It was the spark that lit a fire. But every flashpoint has its complex aftermath. This newfound power of the Palestinian factions in Jordan would, within 2 years, lead to a bloody civil war with King Hussein's army, Black September, and their expulsion from the country. The battle that gave them strength also planted the seeds for their next tragedy. The path from Karameh leads directly to the global terrorism of the 1970s, to Lebanon, and to the Intifadas. It cemented a cycle of action and reaction, of symbol and counterstrike, that feels painfully familiar even today. Sometimes, history turns not on who holds the field at sunset, but on who stands up at dawn. Karameh was a military action that became a psychological revolution. It proved that a cause, no matter how outgunned, can be reborn in a single day of perceived courage. It reminds us that the wars that shape us are often not the ones with the clearest victors, but the ones that forever change the story people tell about themselves. For more deep dives into the pivotal conflicts that define our world, visit us at lightnotstudios.com. For Flashpoints, I'm Ibnul J. Farabi.